Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Blue Ridge Motorsports TV. I'm your host, Front Row Joe. We are here for the Downforce Racing Series, week number 13 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. We'll be here for a total of 140 laps of one stage at lap 64, additional tire sets, 3 green, white checkers. Fuel window going to be about 48 to 52 laps, and the drivers in the Downforce Racing Series will have 2 fast repairs just in case they get into some trouble here tonight. With all that said, we're going to get ahead. We're going to go ahead and take a look at your starting lineup as the 17 drivers here in the Downforce Racing Series get gridded up. As soon as they're all gridded up, we will go ahead and get started. Coming down to the wire here, 2 more races remaining in the season after tonight, as Jordan Ippolito, your current points leader, looks to improve on that lead. As we'll take a quick look at our season standings. Jordan Ippolito in the top 4 wins on the season, total of 503 points. His teammate Caden Henry Oaks in a close second, 65 points behind him. And then you've got Todd McGregor in third, Dave Hunt in fourth, Paul Crumry rounding out the top 5 in your points standings. Jordan Ippolito, he's been gaining some momentum the past few weeks, getting a few wins, a couple top 5 finishes, and he is going to look to run away with this championship, but still 3 races to go, including tonight, so there is an opportunity for somebody inside that top 5 to make their way up to the front, as it looks like we've got Jordan Ippolito gridded up. I believe we still have Keith Handlin out on the track. He's going to keep practicing until it is time to grid. Looked like Ippolito was gridded up, and you see Handlin coming down right now. I think it might be time for the drivers in the Downforce Racing Series to go ahead and get gridded up. Again, we'll be here for a total of 140 laps tonight. Should be an extremely exciting race as the Downforce Racing Series takes on Kansas Motor Speedway. We've got a shakeup up in the front. We'll get into more detail on that for the starting grid. Have a new pole sitter tonight. It's going to be the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. As I do believe I hear some motors starting to rev up. Gentlemen, start your engines. Let's get gridded up and get underway. Field is gridding. And we're going to take a look at your starting lineup. On the pole, Jeff Hollingsworth in that number 97 machine. And 2 is outside the number 54 of Jordan Ippolito. Row number 2 is going to be the 51, Caden Henry Oaks, and the number 96 of Paul Crumry. Row number 3 is going to be the 33 of Chris Walker, and the number 35, Philip Sanchez. Row number 4 is going to be row 4 is going to be the number 44 of John Zerke, and 2 is outside the number 40 of Charlie Woods. Row number 5, the 538 Hanover Fist, and 2 is outside the number 17 of Keith Handlin. Row number 6 is going to be the 71 of Todd McGregor, and the number 21, Ron Deal. Row number 7, the number 5, Bob Lacavera, and the number 53 of Dave Hunt. Row number 8 is the number 57, Thomas Taylor, and the 707 Rolling Rock Chevrolet of Mike Whitaker. And shotgunning the field tonight, Fred Williams. As Ippolito and Hollingsworth lead the field out onto the racetrack, following closely to the Ford Mustang. iRacing.com pace car setting up for 140 laps here at the Downforce Racing Series. Kansas Motor Speedway, brought to you by Blue Ridge Motorsports TV. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down, put your seatbelts on, grab your beer, grab your soft drink, grab your popcorn, grab whatever it is that you eat and drink on race night, and get ready as the pace car leads the field out of turn number 4. Pace car dives off the racetrack. It's going to be Hollingsworth on the point.
Green flag.
And we're green here. Downforce Racing Series. 2x2 bags is going to be Hollingsworth getting pushed by the number 51 of Caden Henry Oaks as they enter in turn number 1. Take a look at the rear of the field. 3 wide into turn number, out of turn number 2. That's going to be McGregor, Hanover Fist, and the number 53 of Dave Hunt. As we jump back up front, Hollingsworth pulling out to about 0.4 of a second, being followed extremely closely by 3 fast drivers. That's going to be Jordan Ippolito, Kate Henry Oaks, and Paul Crumry in the number 96 machine. We're going to go on board here with Paul Crumry. Sliding up to that high line early, trying to stay in some clean air. Is going to get a run here on Ippolito. Ippolito down to the apron, cutting off some of that racetrack. Going to slide back up in front of Crumry before the entry of turn number 1. Out of turn number 2 they go. Down the back straightaway. Got some action going on back here with Charlie Woods on the chase, working around the outside of the number 35, Philip Sanchez, entry to turn number 1. These drivers are all going to be looking to fan out, get some clean air, get that car to rotate through the corner, and maintain all that speed on exit as we see Woods now up to the back of the number 44 of Dale. Zerke. On board to the cockpit here with Charlie Woods. Seeing the bumper of Zerke. Philip Sanchez now sliding up in front of him down the back straightaway. Hollingsworth out to a commanding lead right now. Just a little bit over 1.5 seconds. And while he's out there that front, he's going to want to manage his tires really well. It is real easy to get caught way out in front and then get reeled way back in. As we see number 51 of Caden Henry Oaks diving to the bottom on the inside of his teammate, Jordan Ippolito, not able to quite complete the pass. To go on board with the Blue Ridge Motorsports TV drone cam. Caden Henry Oaks at number 51, Skull Candy, Toyota Supra. Ippolito now sitting comfortably in second, but he's got the 33 of Chris Walker to his outside, who's going to take the outside line here. Not quite going to have the momentum to clear him. Taps the wall just a little bit. Henry Oaks sliding in between him and Zerke. Gonna try and rip the fence here. Turn number 1. We're gonna go back and take a look at the number 53 of Dave Hunt, sitting behind Sanchez, and Walker a little bit loose coming out of the corner there. That's going to slow him up a little bit and allow Sanchez, Hunt, and Woods to creep up in there. So we got the number 17 of Keith Handlin not too far behind, and the number 538 of Hanover Fist, aka Terry Adams, transitioning to the number 538 after his 10-year consecutive run on iRacing. The number 538 is unfortunately significant to Hanover Fist because that is the number of weeks before his streak ended after, and I use quote, iRacing screwed me. So a little bit of a scheduling thing that unfortunately cost Hanover Fist his 10 consecutive year on iRacing streak. Still a huge congratulations for Hanover Fist for that long run. It's got to be one of, if not the longest current streak on iRacing, as we take a look at the number 71 of Todd McGregor. He's got Bob Lacavera behind him. He's got Mike Whitaker in the 707 Rolling Rock Chevrolet in front of him as he's trying to get a run and get up closer to that 57 of Thomas Taylor, gain some momentum out of the corner exit. As Paul Crumry has now gotten around Ippolito for that second position, so it's now going to be Hollingsworth, Crumry, Ippolito, and Caden Henry Oaks, followed by Philip Sanchez. Going to be your top five here so far through the race. 12 laps down of 60 here at Kansas Motor Speedway for the Downforce Racing Series. We're going to jump a little bit further back in the pack. Take a look at Thomas Taylor in that number 57 machine. He's got Hanover Fist diving down to the inside of him here. Hanover Fist going to have the edge coming out of the corner. Chris Walker up into the wall once again. That is not something you're going to want to do time after time. It's going to cause some significant damage on the side of that race car and eventually lose speed, momentum, and handling. Speaking of handling, we're actually going to jump up the field to the number 17 of Keith Handlin. Go on board with him as he's right up on the back of the number 53 of Dave Hunt. As they come across the start-finish line and complete lap number 14, or I should say 13. Handlin up into the wall, getting vacuumed up into the wall. We've got a car up into the wall in front of him. That's going to be the 44 of Zerke. Do a little wiggle woggle there, trying to keep the car settled and under control as he makes his entry, now center out of turn number 4. Ippolito now got across Paul Crumry, closed that margin down to 0.2 of a second. Remember, Hollingsworth was a little over a second and a half, almost 2 seconds of a lead out in front of the field. Has Hollingsworth used up his tires and now struggling to keep pace as we see Ippolito now doing a crossover, trying to go down to the inside of him here. Diving down onto that apron, cutting off some of the track, and Ippolito to the point now. Number 54, Ippolito going to clear Hollingsworth by about 6 car lengths out of turn number 2. Hollingsworth not looking to give up just yet. Gets back up within 2 car lengths of Ippolito as they exit turn number 4. Ippolito going to dive down to the apron again, cut off some of that track. Hollingsworth looked a little bit skewed. Ippolito really getting to the bottom. As you see Ippolito now off onto the backstretch. Still close racing here by everybody here in the Downforce Racing Series, with the exception of a few in the rear of the field. McGregor being the final driver in the order. Excuse me for that brain fart. But Ippolito now saving some tire early, now able to get out to just about 1.2 seconds out in front. And now Crumry challenging Hollingsworth for the second position, and Caden Henry Oaks is there as well, side by side with Henry Oaks out of turn number 4. As Henry Oaks going to complete the pass before entry to turn number 1. Henry Oaks up into that number 3rd spot. Caden Henry Oaks, remember, is second in the points tonight as Philip Sanchez looks to make a move down on the inside of Henry Oaks here. Turns 3 and 4, not quite going to get there. Henry Oaks going to carry some more momentum out of the corner. As Chris Walker now fighting off Zerke as Zerke gets to the inside entry to turn number 1. He's got the 53 of Dave Hunt and the 17 of Keith Hanlon close behind them. But it's going to be Zerke with the advantage here. Little side draft there from Dave Hunt going into turn number 3. It's going to be Hunt with the advantage over Chris Walker. All trying to chase down Zerke. Those top 4 drivers coming up on some lap traffic, I believe, or is Caden Henry Oaks just that far ahead? It looks like lap traffic, because, or excuse me, Ippolito, because he's now out to almost a 2-second lead, about 1.25 seconds over that second place driver, PK Paul Crumry. Crumry now trying to fight off that number 51 of Caden Henry Oaks. Gonna rip the fence, turns 1 and 2. Caden Henry Oaks gonna come up and side draft here. Down the back stretch they go into turn number 3. Henry Oaks sticking the nose out in front of Crumry, really wrapping that bottom, but Crumry should have momentum on exit here. But Henry Oaks looks like he's gonna have that advantage, slides up into that number 2 spot. Philip Sanchez now looking to do the same thing and get around Crumry here in turns 1 and 2. '97 of Hollingsworth now falls back to 5th place. After that exchange, is Ippolito now out to 2.3 seconds over the field here. Just about 7 laps shy of the halfway point here. Stage number 1. Stage will be set to take place at lap 60. Will just be a competition caution, though. No stage points will be awarded. However, it will give the drivers a chance to reset, make some adjustments, re-game plan, and do it all over again for stage number 2. We should see a cycle of green flag pit stops here, stage number 1. It all depends on how the car feels as opposed to tires. Fuel window is going to be about, I believe, around 55 laps or so. So unless these guys are going to save fuel, there will be a green flag pit stop cycle here, stage number 1 of the Downforce Racing Series. As we jump up to Jordan Ippolito, he's got about half of a straightaway advantage now over Caden Henry Oaks, who's slitting up into that number 2 spot. We're going to jump to Caden Henry Oaks here as he's got Philip Sanchez in chase here, wants to challenge for that number 2 spot. Caden Henry Oaks giving him a little bit of clean air there, allowing Sanchez to keep his headlight poked out of the bottom here. As Sanchez with momentum, entry to turn number 3 and 4. On exit, it's going to be Henry Oaks with the advantage. As we go live now to the Blue Ridge Motorsports TV drone cam. This battle for second right now between Caden Henry Oaks and Philip Sanchez. was heating up for a minute. Seemed to have cooled off momentarily. We've got a little bit of a battle for the number 7 spot right now. It's going to be Dave Hunt and Chris Walker battling out for that 7th spot. Hollingsworth and Zerke battling for that number 5 position as they come out of turn number 2. Zerke ripping the fence, turning it down on exit. Zerke going to rip the fence again. Hollingsworth going to stay low here. Turn number 3 and 4. And Hollingsworth coming down to pit, and he slides into pit road, takes the cone out, keeps it under control. Oh, Hollingsworth got into the wall earlier. That is what slowed him down so dramatically. So we go back up to the front, take a quick shot at our leader, Jordan Ippolito. 2.5 seconds out in front of the field. A little bit of a challenge, though, for that number 9 spot. Charlie Woods being challenged by Mike Whitaker in the number 707 Rolling Rock Chevrolet. As Hanlon comes down pit road for his green flag pit stop. And then now up into the top 10, Bob Lacavera here in that Convergent Composites Chevrolet Camaro. We'll go on board here with Bob Lacavera. Bob Lacavera looking really good in practice. Currently up 4 spots after starting 13th inside of that top 10. Trying to hold on to his position. Gain some ground on the 707 of Mike Whitaker. Mike Whitaker almost up to the bumper there of Charlie Woods. Philip Sanchez now in the pits. Kate Henry Oaks in the pits. Jordan Ippolito in the pits. Hanover Fist in the pits. Ron Deal in the pits. And now Crumrye to the point here. 32 laps in of stage number 1 here at Kansas for the Downforce Racing Series. About 108 laps to go. Crumrye going to bring it down pit road. That'll yield the race lead to the number 53 of Dave Hunt. We'll remind everybody real quick about our point standings. Jordan Ippolito currently your championship point standings leader. Followed closely by Caden Henry Oaks. As now the 57, Thomas Taylor with fresh tires gets around the 53 of Hunt. As Hunt now going to come down pit road. Whitaker going to stay out another lap. As well as Charlie Woods. But as soon as Whitaker and Woods pit, that will then yield the race lead to Jordan Ippolito as he will cycle back to the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stay glued here to Jordan Ippolito. We're going to step away for just a second, but don't worry, you will not miss any of the action as we go Blue Ridge Motorsports TV side by side. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Ippolito now 4-second lead over the second place driver of number 44 of John Zerke. Caden Henry Oaks still a lap down. Was not able to get his lap back the hard way. He falls down to 13th. Not exactly sure what happened there to Caden Henry Oaks, as he was running second at the beginning of the cycle. Don't necessarily see anything that's concerning on the timing score, or excuse me, on the scoring that would cause him to fall back that many positions. So right now, 6 cars going to be on the lead lap. That's going to be Ippolito, Zerke, Philip Sanchez, Paul Crumry, and number 33 of Chris Walker. Well, I do stand corrected. There's 11 cars on the lead lap, all the way down to McGregor. Battle right now for the top 5 position between Walker and Hanlon. We're going to stay glued here for a minute as Caden Henry Oaks almost sends it 3 wide there down the back straightaway. Hanlon and Walker taking the bottom line while Henry Oaks going to the top, getting some momentum. Going to stay up there. Neither Walker nor Hanlon decide to cut the apron. Make it a little bit more difficult for Caden Henry Oaks to get by them. He's not fighting them for position. It's just a track position game for Caden Henry Oaks right now as he tries to get his lap back. Jordan Ippolito has a trend this season of putting drivers a lap down and not allowing them to get back on the lead lap. As I believe there was one race earlier in the season where there were only, I believe, 3 or 4 cars on the lead lap, as Ippolito was able to stretch the stint and opt to not pit, and it worked out for him. So is that something that we'll see again here at Kansas? We have a little bit of a battle brewing now for second as Paul Crumry looking to challenge Zerke for that number 2 spot as Philip Sanchez has some momentum coming down the back straightaway. Gonna make a move to the inside of Crumry. Wrap the bottom here. He's gonna keep that momentum on exit. It's gonna be side by side with Crumry. Sanchez does have the position as of this moment. Can he complete the 2-for-1 here and completely clear Crumry and then get past Zerke? Not quite going to be able to get to Zerke's left rear. Not going to be able to drag him back, and he's going to have to do it on pure speed. As Sanchez dives down to the bottom. Crumry now sliding all the way down to the bottom. As both drivers clear Zerke, and it's Philip Sanchez now up into the number 2 spot. Crumry not giving up easy at all. He's going to run the fence and try and get some momentum coming out of turn number 2. Still going to be Sanchez with the advantage. Out of turn number 4 they go. Sanchez out to about 3 car lengths in front of Crumry. As Sanchez comes across the line, completing lap number 45 on to lap number 46. Ippolito still holding strong onto his lead. He's got absolutely nobody in front of him. He's got nothing but air and opportunity, as it looks like he's coming up on the number 57 of Thomas Taylor, who is already a lap down. As we take a look at Ippolito, where'd he go? He's gone. It's AI driving the number 54. Where did Jordan Ippolito go? He just disappeared from the cockpit. Who's driving that thing? There he is. I don't know what you're doing there, Houdini. Whatever you're doing it well. Sanchez now increasing that gap over Crumry out to about a second right now, so it's going to be between Zerke and Crumry here in that battle for third. Zerke catching some momentum, but the slide job by the number 96 of Crumry slows Zerke down just a little bit, but Zerke gonna have the momentum here. Coming out of turn number 4, Crumry gets a little wheel, gets a little wheel input, gets some squirreling action going on there. And that little mistake is going to allow Zerke to complete the pass and slide up into that number 3 spot. Closest battles on track right now going to be right here with the 44 and the 96, Zerke and Crumry. Both drivers trying to find something to get up close to Sanchez, as Ippolito has now put Thomas Taylor 2 laps down, I do believe. No, that's the 21 of Ron Deal that has gone a lap down, as Deal seems to be having some connection issues, and that is going to put him out of the race. Let's see. Oh, no, he's coming down pit road. All right. He blinked out a little bit, so I thought he was having some connection issues, but here we are. Ippolito finally now getting up to Taylor, putting him 2 laps down. Ippolito has just absolutely found something here. 4 seconds out in front, as he completes lap number 53, coming to 54. 7 to go in the stage. Here at Kansas Motor Speedway for the Downforce Racing Series, week number 13. Broadcasted to you by Blue Ridge Motorsports TV. 2 races to go in the season after tonight. Can Ippolito run away with the championship with a win tonight? A win tonight will increase his chances. A win next week will for sure lock him in to the championship. Zerke now going to have to see who comes out on top of this battle right here. Crumry, Walker battling for that number 4 spot, as Henry Oakes has worked his way almost back up to the front, trying to get his lap back the hard way. He looks like, unfortunately, will have to work on the lucky dog to get back onto the lead lap, as we are now 5 laps to go in stage number 1 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Henry Oaks getting around Crumry. He's going to he's going to give Walker a little bit of breathing room, as he is now not going to have to worry so much about Crumry. This is the closest battle on track. There might be a battle brewing in a few laps, but we will not have enough laps left in the stage for Sanchez and Zerke to battle it out, as we'll go on board here with Zerke and see that he is just about a second behind Philip Sanchez, but he will run out of laps before he is able to get to the bumper of that number 35 machine. Take a quick look at our lap leaders right now. Jordan Ippolito leading 37 of the 60 laps in stage number 1, with Hollingsworth leading 16 of those laps. And we'll take a quick look at our fastest 5 drivers of the night. It's going to be Hollingsworth on top of the board right now with a 30.17. Thomas Taylor with a 30.39. Crumry with a 30.44, McGregor with a 30.49, and Hanover Fist with a 30.50. Speed is out there tonight, as Ippolito now comes across the line. Be 1 to go here in the stage. Down the back straightaway for the final time here, stage number 1. Jordan Ippolito
thoughts on pitting or staying out at all?
Will come across the line as the stage caution comes out. And while we are under caution, while the guys get gathered up and get ready for their pit stops, we're going to step away for just a second, hear a word from one of our sponsors here on Blue Ridge Motorsports TV, AI Chief.
Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief. Your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the...
Ippolito gonna win the race off of pit road here. And speaking of Ippolito, he is a driver that's had a lot of momentum here in the Downforce Racing Series, and now he is in the lead here, getting ready to start stage number 2. Jordan Ippolito, this is Front Row Joe in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I think I pulled you mid 4-letter word there, and yeah. But it's all good, man. You've led a bunch of laps tonight, man. You've taken control pretty early on in this race. So the question that our viewers are going to have for you, what's it going to take for you to come away with the checkered flag here tonight?
Just got to protect that right front. Those guys, Jeff and Paul, pulled away a big lead off the start there. And, yeah, they burnt their right front up or something. 'Cause, yeah, we ran them back down after 10 laps. So. Yeah,
and you ended up with just about almost a 4-second lead after that pit cycle, and you've maintained it throughout the duration of stage number 1. So we're going to let you get back to your teammate into your race chat, and we will hopefully see you at the end for a post-race interview, sir.
Yes, sir. I hope so.
Yeah, that was your current points leader, current race leader, Jordan Ippolito. He will have control here on this restart. He's got Sanchez to his outside. You heard Ippolito say the only thing he's got to do is just take care of that right front. Did a good job in stage 1. Is he going to be able to do the same thing here in stage 2? We will see. As Ippolito on the point will have control here for the restart. As the pace car. Oh, Barney. You're blocking my view, Barney. You have control inside the restart zone. And we are back green, 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 green here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Stage number 2 now underway. It is that time in the race where we are going to turn it up. So you can hear all those engines as we turn it up loud here for lap number 78. Across the start-finish line for Jordan Ippolito. Completing lap number 65 of 140 here at Kansas, as we'll take a look at the battle for second and third right now. Technically, Paul Krumrie getting by Sanchez. Zerke also getting by Sanchez. Sanchez falling back the number 4 spot. As we see McGregor and his teammate Charlie Woods now going to be battling it out for that number 6 spot. As Woods down to the inside of McGregor, couldn't quite get to the bottom, has to back out of it. And at number 97 of Hollingsworth getting a run off the outside after ripping the fence. Side by side for Woods. And Hollingsworth, but Hollingsworth not actually fighting for position. Walker now up into the wall as he tries to get around Zerke and Sanchez. Krumrie now to the point. Ippolito, you heard him say it in the interview, he is just going to protect that right front. So if that just means letting Krumrie go, that's exactly what he's going to do. As now Sanchez has got some company by the number 33 of Chris Walker, going to challenge him for that number 3 spot, as he was able to get around Zerke. McGregor now under pressure from Zerke. As the field comes down through turn number 3. It's going to be McGregor with the advantage for that 5th place position. But Zerke is a man on a mission right now. Zerke now under pressure from Keith Handlin. Go on board here with Keith Handlin now as he tries to get to the back bumper of that JZ Engineering Ford Mustang. Handlin able to carry momentum out of the corner. But unfortunately for him, so is Zerke. As you see Zerke going up to rip the fence. Handlin gonna stay low, getting some clean air, but it is Zerke with the momentum off the corner. There is a little bit of a battle brewing as Henry Oakes now pokes his name into the mix, back up to 8th. Gonna work to get around Zerke and then start to work on Keith Handlin as Henry Oakes cuts down to the apron. Gonna pull along side by side with Zerke as they go into turn number 1. Henry Oakes gonna stick to the bottom. Zerke gonna go up high. Be side by side coming out of turn number 2. Zerke with a slight advantage after running the fence. But Henry Oakes there on his left rear to pull him back. Now he's going to start working on that number 17 of Keith Handlin. Still side by side with Zerke. Zerke not backing down at all. Going to keep running that high line. High line is sort of the preferred line here at Kansas. However, if you want to save tires early on, you're going to want to run the bottom as Henry Oakes up into the fence. That's going to slow him down, and Whitaker going to stick his nose in there and see if he can't complete the pass. Henry Oakes able to recover well. He's going to have to now work to get back up as now Ippolito able to get by Crumry. Sanchez also able to get by Crumry. And Ippolito back to the lead. We'll take a look here on the Blue Ridge Motorsports TV truck cam as Sanchez looks to get to the bumper of that number 54 machine, who is back up to the front. Ippolito going to send it down into the bottom. Turns number 1 and 2. Out of the backstretch. Sanchez looked to go inside. Did not quite have the momentum to get there. As we may have a little bit of a battle going on back here. Hanover Fist, Lacavera for that number 11 spot. Lacavera trying to find some grip here, sticking it all the way down to the bottom. That number 5, Convergent Composites Chevrolet. As we'll now jump back up to the race lead. Jordan Ippolito poised and controlled and disciplined here as he comes across the line, completing lap number 79 of 140. Handlin under fire by John Zerke, getting to his left rear, going to pull him back, slow him down just a little bit before entry of turn number 3. And he's going to complete the pass there just before they cross the start-finish line. You're now side by side into turn number 1. Zerke gonna have the advantage, able to clear the nose of the number 17 of Handlin. And now Zerke will start working on that number 96 of Paul Crumry. A lot of throttle control by Zerke. You hear him up there on the fence, feathering that throttle, keeping the car composed. McGregor, haven't heard much out of McGregor tonight. He is now up into that number 3 position, taking that spot away from Paul Crumry. McGregor third in points. Now sits third. Ippolito stretching his lead now to 1.2 seconds over Sanchez. Zerke and Crumry battling it out here for that number 4 spot. Zerke going to send it down to the bottom. Complete the pass in the center, slide up and puts, well, he doesn't actually put Crumry in the wall. The Dirty Air does. Got Crumry tight at the top of turn number 4. Caden Henry Oaks now looking to work on Crumry. Trying to work his way back up to the front. Henry Oaks going to cut the apron. Again, come up side by side with the number 96 through turns 1 and 2. But Crumry is going to have a little bit more of an advantage running that high line. He's got the momentum side by side down the back straightaway. Sticks his nose out in front of the number 51. And they will reset and do it again as Crumry up into the wall again. Nose looks a little bit clean. I do imagine he's going to have some sort of damage after those 2 repeated contacts on back-to-back laps. Slows him down just enough for that number 51 of Caden Henry Oaks to get out in front. Crumry up to the bumper now of Handlin after Handlin able to complete the pass. And Handlin moves up into that number 6 spot. McGregor about to be under fire from that number 44, John Zerke, for that number 3 spot. See Caden Henry Oaks diving down onto the apron, trying to cut off some of that track. as both Zerke and Caden Henry Oaks opt to run the fence turns 1 and 2. You see just how much track position Zerke is able to cover running that high line. McGregor sees it, slides up to throw some dirty air on that number 44 machine. But Zerke catching it early and getting a half a car length up under that number 71 of Todd McGregor. Zerke now going up high again. McGregor able to keep his advantage over the number 44 machine. But I do anticipate in a few laps, McGregor up into the wall just slightly. Is that mistake going to cost him a track position? Not currently. But you got to also take into account anytime you get up into the wall, it does something to you mentally. And it takes you a little bit of time to recover from that. It's Henry Oaks now to the inside of Zerke. Gonna clear Zerke up into that number 4 spot. Oh, he gets into the wall too. Zerke gonna pull side by side with him again, get half a car length out in front as they go into turn number 1. Henry Oaks gonna rip the fence. Carry all that momentum down the straightaway and get back in front of John Zerke. We'll take a quick look back up here at your leader, Jordan Ippolito. 66 laps led so far. So got a 2.5 second lead over the second place car, Philip Sanchez. Ippolito getting a little bit tight there, coming out of turn number 2. You heard him get out of the gas. I'm gonna go back to the bottom here. And across the start-finish line for the completion of lap number 94. 45 laps to go here. All these drivers last pit at lap number 61. So I do believe we'll probably get about 10 or 15 more laps out of our leader before he comes down for his green flag pit stop. Now, McGregor catching up to Philip Sanchez. Or the catch 22 for that. Sanchez falling back to McGregor. Here on the Blue Ridge Motorsports TV trunk camera, you see McGregor slowly closing in. Henry Oaks down to the apron once again, cutting off some of that track. He is going to get to the bumper of McGregor and really rip the fence. And look at all that momentum Henry Oaks is getting out of the corner as McGregor gets to the left rear of Sanchez. Henry Oaks all the way up on the fence, 3 wide at turn number 3 and 4. And it's going to be Caden Henry Oaks getting around Sanchez, almost getting the 2 for 1. Completes the 2 for 1 as he gets around McGregor up into that second spot. The drivers from Queen City running 1 and 2. As the top seems to be working for Henry Oaks, he's going to stay up there. Gets up into that number 2 spot, but unfortunately is 3 seconds behind his teammate Jordan Ippolito in the race lead. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for just a second, but don't go anywhere. You will not miss any of the action as we go Blue Ridge Motorsports TV side by side. And we are back here, Kansas Motor Speedway Downforce Racing Series. Jordan Ippolito, your current race leader. He's led total of 76 laps here. Took control of this race early and has not looked back ever since. Take a look at our biggest movers of the night. It's going to be Mike Whitaker in that 707 Rolling Rock Chevrolet. Up 10 spots from where he started, up at that number 6 position. McGregor up 8 spots in that number 3 position. Lacavera up 4, back up inside the top 10. Hunt up 4, and Zerke up 3. Take another quick look at our fastest 5 drivers of the race. Still going to be Hollingsworth with that 30.17. Looks like a lot of these drivers got a little bit faster in stage number 2. Taylor, Crumry, Ippolito, and McGregor all running within a few hundredths of a second. Still got a battle back here for that number 6 spot. Keith Hanlon, Paul Crumry. Let's go on board here with Crumry. As Crumry appeared to have changed a decision last minute to come down pit road, as he will momentarily cycle up into that number 2 spot with Whitaker. Going to lead a lap. I would anticipate Whitaker going to come down pit road this time by. As he does, is Crumry going to do the same? Yes. How about Handlin? Into the pits. That will yield the race lead back to Ippolito. But he's got company. His teammate, Caden Henry Oaks. A little over a second of a gap right now, 1.2 seconds. Ippolito has over Henry Oaks as both of those drivers cycle back up to the 1 and 2 positions. 33 laps to go here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Downforce Racing Series presented to you by Blue Ridge Motorsports TV. We'll once again remind everybody of the current points standings. We're actually going to shrink this down. I'll look at our top 10 drivers. Ippolito, Henry Oaks, McGregor, Hunt, Crumry, Hanlon, Hollingsworth, Whitaker, Sanchez, and Charlie Woods. A win tonight will increase Ippolito's chances of winning the championship. And more than likely, a win next week will secure his championship. As we will be at Pocono next week. And Pocono is a track that Ippolito has done well in the past. So we shall see how he does next week. But right now, he is out in front. 2.5 second lead over second place, Caden Henry Oaks. Take a quick look back here in the third place driver, Todd McGregor. He's got quite a significant advantage over the fourth place driver of Zerke, just under 2.5 seconds of a gap separating the two. As Lacavera has maintained running inside the top 10 even after that pit cycle. Currently 10 drivers on the lead lap, Whitaker being the first driver a lap down, and number 21 of Ron Deal, unfortunately 3 laps down, currently running 12th. As the 71 of McGregor gets by him with ease. As McGregor tries to work up and get closer to our second place driver, Caden Henry Oaks. Field is kind of stretched thin here after that pit cycle. Field is spread out quite a bit. No more drafting as of this point. It's all going to be carrying your momentum through these corners and down these straightaways. It looks like our closest battle right now is about to brew, with Hanlon about to come under fire from that number 5 of Bob Lacavera. Down into turns 3 and 4. We're on board here with the number 5. Trying to inch closer to that number 17 machine. As Hunt seems to be a little bit off pace there. Lacavera carrying some momentum out of turn number 4. Gonna work the high line here. Should carry enough momentum to clear to number 53. He clears him before corner exit. Up into 9th for the number 5 of Lacavera. Whitaker on a little bit fresher tires. Gonna work around Lacavera and potentially make a push up to the front and get his lap back the hard way. He is the driver sitting currently in the lucky dog position. As we are approaching 20 laps to go here in the Downforce Racing Series at Kansas Motor Speedway. Our leader, Jordan Ippolito, taking charge here. Ippolito has led 90 laps so far tonight, took control of this race early on, and has maintained his position up here at the point. Ippolito with about half of a straightaway lead over his teammate, Caden Henry Oaks. Now about almost 3/4 of a straightaway. As we go on board with the Blue Ridge Motorsports TV drone cam. Under 20 to go here. Hanlon has now increased his gap over Lacavera. Lacavera up to 8th currently. All but securing a top 10 finish here at Kansas Motor Speedway. As the closest action on track really isn't any. Zerke is sitting about 2.5 seconds behind McGregor. Correction. Yeah, 2.5 seconds behind McGregor. McGregor sitting comfortably in 3rd. Under no pressure from anyone, as the field is single file and separated. As Ippolito works around the number 53 of Hunt, putting him another lap down. Hunt reclaiming one of those laps back. Ippolito still holding a commanding 3.4 second lead over his teammate, Caden Henry Oaks. Can see the separation, about 3/4 of a straightaway behind our leader. Can Henry Oaks make a late race push and get up to the bumper of Ippolito? These two running almost identical lap times, with Henry Oaks running currently 2/10 faster than Ippolito. Ippolito with a 32.42 and Kate Henry Oaks with a 32.29. Philip Sanchez had quite the night. Got himself a lap lead and ran up inside the top 5 the majority of the night, if not the entire night. Currently sitting in P5. Here's we have just 12 laps to go. Kermerai sitting in the number 6 position. All these drivers pretty much locked in to where they will finish in just 11 laps. Lacavera currently 8th. And Hunt has just been able to go all the way around the track and pass all those drivers. Unfortunately, not enough race left for him to get back on the lead lap, as we are down to 10 to go, as Ippolito has now increased his lead back up to just about 3 seconds. Ippolito coming to the end of the runway. As he comes out of turn number 4 and gets ready to come across the start-finish line, completing lap number 133. Ippolito coming up on the rear of the number 538 Hanover Fist. Hanover Fist with a solid night, going to finish inside the top 10. Hanover starting 9th. Looks like he will finish 9th. As Ippolito crosses the line, 4 laps to go here. As Ippolito gains all that momentum, running the fence. We're going to stay glued here to our leader for the final 3 laps of the race. A little bit of a slip up right there as Ippolito gets into the wall. Two laps to go here. Jordan Ippolito just under 3 seconds out in front of his teammate Ken Henry Oak, sitting in second. As Ippolito finally gets around Hanover Fist, as he comes out of turn number 4 onto the front stretch, comes across the start-finish line for the white flag here at Kansas. Ippolito will collect his 5th win of the season. He will retain the points lead as he's into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And across the start-finish line, taking the checkered flag, it's going to be Jordan Ippolito. Kate Henry Oak's going to finish in second. And Todd McGregor going to round out our top 3 drivers of the night. Amazing race from the 54 as his teammate comes up side by side. Congratulations. 2 teammates going 1-2 here at Kansas. And what an opportunity Ippolito was going to have. Coming across the start-finish line, going to burn it down. Jordan Ippolito, win number 5 on the season. In dominating fashion. And he is going to absolutely enjoy his celebration. And we are going to go ahead and pull our race winner down. Jordan Ippolito, front row Joe, up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I can only imagine the mood that you're in right now as you've taken your 5th win of the season. Comes at Kansas, week number 13, man. How's it feel?
Feels great. I was hoping I was going to hang on there. Caden was scaring me, running me down a little bit, but I ended up holding them off. So it's all good in the end. And, yeah, 5th win of the season feels good. Championship's that much closer to locking up.
Yeah, absolutely. I was explaining to our viewers earlier in the broadcast that a win tonight will increase your chances, and a win next week will almost secure that championship spot as we get ready to head into Pocono next week. It's a track that I believe you've done well at in the Gen 6 series. How do you think that's going to kind of transition over to the O'Reilly series as we get ready to head into Pocono next week?
I thought we go to Daytona next week.
Go to Daytona next week. Well,
We did.
let me. Well, I was looking at the wrong schedule. So yes, Daytona next week. So I've got that all wrong this entire race. I was looking at the wrong schedule. My apologies to our race viewers. So Daytona, super speedway racing. I can't imagine that that's going to be fun for anybody. But what are you kind of feeling for Daytona next week?
Just gonna do what I did at Dega and just ride around in the back and try to get up there and get some laps led just to get some extra bonus points and finish with a 0x and just mostly just try to finish with a 0x.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not a bad strategy at all. But ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Ippolito, your race winner tonight. Jordan, who do you want to thank? Who helped you get it done tonight, sir?
I just want to thank Caden as always, being my teammate, and we go over like what the tires are doing in practice and what the tire wear is looking like. So just want to thank him for being my teammate and helping me out for all these seasons.
You've heard it from the man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Ippolito. Jordan, congratulations on your win. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher is going to be Kate Henry Oaks in the booth right now. Kate Henry Oaks, second place finisher. How's it feel, sir?
All right. I feel like I personally could have done better. Made a couple too many mistakes tonight, but regardless, not a bad result.
Yeah, not at all. You'll still remain pretty much even with your teammate as he is on top of the board right now. But coming away with a second place finish here tonight. You had some unfortunate events throughout the race. Worked your way from the back to the front here for second place finish, and we getting ready to go to. Not sure if it's your favorite or anybody's favorite for that matter. Daytona Super Speedway Racing, as we've got 2 more races left in the season. How do you feel you're going to stack up against the field as we take on the Super Speedway of the world?
Personally, not too excited about it, but I mean, it'll be an entertaining race like they normally are. Just like every week, man, go in there, try to run up front and have a clean car at the end. That's the hope. Normally it doesn't turn out that way, but that's how it goes. So take the good with the bad. Try and have some fun with it.
Yeah, maybe you can tie your teammate for 5 wins on the season. You've got 4, so you've got the speed to do it. And we'll look forward to seeing how you, as well as the rest of the drivers here at Downforce Racing Series, do at the World Center of Racing. But, Caden, before we let you go, who do you want to thank, and who helped you get it done tonight?
Jordan was actually I had a lot of help, to be honest with you. I didn't really have the pace that he had off the truck. So I was kind of leaning on him throughout the race, more or less. Just kind of following his line, whatnot, despite the dirty air. But, just Jordan for kind of helping basically keep my head down. Same thing I do with him whenever one of us has a setback. Bob, Terry, Mike putting on a show. You for putting on a broadcast. Kind of same deal as every week. It's still fun to come out here and run, even if not everything goes your way. It's still fun to come out here and be able to run and have guys that run you clean, they run you hard. So it's a good competition.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Henry Oaks, we'll congratulate you again on your second place finish, and we will see you next week at Daytona.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring in your third place finisher, and that is going to be Todd McGregor. Todd, front row Joe in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. So excited to talk to you again. It's good to have you back up here in the booth since your Daytona win. Your Talladega win earlier in the season. Walk me through kind of your race in general, how things went for you, and some of the things you experienced on track, trying to fight dirty air, all that kind of stuff.
Well, so I don't qualify very well. That's pretty obvious. Got into Taylor and I got into each other, Thomas and I got into each other and put me into the inside there. I thought it'd bring out a yellow, but it didn't. Limped it around till we got to the stage break and got repaired and was running pretty decent, I guess. And then we got into it with Ron. He was about a lap down, but I was pretty happy that I was able to get back to third after all that, negative racing we had there. But it's all good. Had a good car. The tire management was definitely the key. Had to back up the corners pretty good, but it was a fun race.
Yeah, anytime you can overcome adversity and work your way from the back of the field up to the front for a podium finish shows a lot about your racecraft, and it also shows a lot about the rest of the guys here at Downforce Racing Series as we went, incident-free cautions tonight. Only one for the stage break, so that was beneficial. But we head to Super Speedway racing, going to Daytona next week, and Super Speedway tracks are the tracks that you seem to really do well in. So what are some of the feelings and ideas and strategies you've got for Daytona next week?
Well, we're just go out there and see how the car feels and hook up with my my teammates and get to the last few laps. And if you're up front, you go get it.
Yeah, you've got quite a few teammates out there to kind of link up with and make pushes and navigate the track there. So we look forward to seeing you next week at Daytona. But before we let you go, Todd, who do you want to thank and who helped you come away with your third place finish tonight?
Yeah, some of our guys and even some of the other guys I think we raced with, they had some bad luck on pit road. It sounded like some speeding penalties and things like that. But the old guys, that they're just a good group of guys that have a lot of fun with, and they've kind of helped me develop some more racing techniques and learn to be patient. Like you said, come through adversity. If you get mad, you're just going to be mad. You might as well settle down and race and have some fun with it. So short of that, I just appreciate you guys up in the booth and Bob and Terry, for putting this on for us, and can't wait till next Tuesday night.
Yeah, and if, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, now you know, old guys rule, and Todd McGregor showing that tonight, coming away with a third place finish. Todd, congratulations, and we'll see you next week in Daytona.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at our official race results. Jordan Ippolito coming away with the win. Kate Henry Oaks going to finish in second. Todd McGregor going to finish in third. Jordan Ippolito, leading 112 laps. Todd McGregor is going to be the hard charger. Hollingsworth with your fastest lap of the night. He also had the pole. We'll go over the rest of the finishing order. John Zerke going to finish in fourth. Philip Sanchez in fifth. Paul Crumry in sixth. Keith Handlin finishing seventh. Bob Lacavera finishing eighth. Hanover Fist in ninth. Running out the top 10 going to be Mike Whitaker. Dave Hunt going to finish 11th. 12th place will go to Ron Deal. 13th, Chris Walker. Hollingsworth going to finish in 14th. Charlie Woods going to finish in 15th. And Thomas Taylor in 16th. And Fred Williams doing his start and park tonight. We went a total of 214 miles, 140 laps around this mile-and-a-half track that is Kansas Speedway. 11 different green flag lead changes with 7 different leaders. We had 1 caution tonight only for the stage break, so no incident-related cautions. We pretty much went green to checkered with the exception of that stage break. Jordan Ippolito getting his 5th win of the season as the gentlemen in the Downforce Racing Series get ready to tackle the World Center of Racing Daytona International Speedway. Next week, we'll be live next Tuesday, August 25th, as Downforce Racing Series takes on Daytona International Speedway. Again, I am your host, Front Row Joe. I appreciate everybody stopping by, hanging out, watching the show, and we look forward to doing it all again next week. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this will be your host, Front Row Joe, signing off. So God bless, good night, and have a safe and healthy week. Good night.